You see the presentation?
That's great. Thank you very much. Okay, so hello everyone. Pleasure to meet you. Thank you for giving me the floor. My name is Jan Czarnocki. I'm from Poland and I'm ESR 5. I'll be making my PhD at KU Leuven, Center for IT and IP Law, and I'll be researching privacy and biometrics in health and activity tracking. My perspective, unlike a lot of other researchers, is legal one. So it is actually a great, it's really thrilling for me to learn so much technical and engineering stuff from you guys, because it's something totally new, being exposed to this, let's say, technical concept, whereas normally I used to be in more legal, history, social sciences world. So yeah, I'll be looking for privacy and biometrics data from the legal perspective. My supervisor is Professor Erskine, and my co-supervisor is Professor Mark Latoszczyk. And if I pronounce it properly, sorry if I haven't, I'm right now in Leuven, where I'm already started my research in September, and hopefully I'll be able to go to Würzburg for my academic secondment, and then to company called Callsign, which I deem is headquartered in London. So let's start my presentation. Do you see the second slide? Does it work properly? Excuse me?
Yes, we see your second.
Just make sure. So I finished master degree in law in Warsaw. This is 5 years master degree, because in as well as in Germany and Austria in law we don't, in Poland in law we don't have bachelor, we just go straight for 5 years master degree. And at the last 2 years of my master's degree, I made second master degree in China, in Chinese law in Beijing. Then I came back to Europe, where for 1 year I did my traineeships in Brussels, first at the European People's Party Secretariat, and then in Wilfried Martens Center for European Studies, where I more got into policymaking and international affairs. But then I make a decision to come back to legal business and decided to go to academia and concentrate on the issue which actually was bothering me for a long time. Basically the influence of our developing technologies for the security and privacy of all the citizens. So that's how I ended up in making a PhD at KU Leuven. I'm really passionate about not only law, but history, philosophy, and this holistic view on human affairs. And therefore, I'm also really interested in knowing some kind of principles of this technical stuff, which I'm hearing from you guys here. So going straight to my research, what is it about? So this is the short description of Prima ESR. I underlined what's really important here. So data protection concepts for the risks posed by sensor-rich health and activity trackers. So this is the main object of my research, the legal protection of this data, which are gathered when we have a lot of Okay, we are back now. So this is the data gathering in the concept, in the context of multiple parties that are gathering this data, and the data are stored in the cloud solutions. And at the same time, my research aim is to see how the legal framework permits or does not permit using this data, which is collected and stored in this cloud data, and this collected by multiple parties. How we are going to make this data be able to be used for lawful and good purposes like research. So we have numerous purposes. We can have commercial purpose of data gathering, but also we can have data for stuff really undoubtedly beneficial for the society. So this description, this problem, what does it practically means for my research and what I'm doing right now. So in Europe, because I'm from Europe, we have sources of data and privacy protection. So the main sources here, they are not listed, not everything is listed here, but mainly we have Charter on the Fundamental Rights of the European Union, where we have rights to privacy and data protection, as well as we have right to privacy in the European Convention on Human Rights. And in numerous constitutional orders, legal orders of the EU member states, we also have this right to privacy. And these sources are source of really famous, as everyone knows, General Data Protection Regulation, which might be such a, from one perspective, burden, but from other perspective, kind of global, even more global safeguard for the privacy. Because this research is relevant not only to Europe, because it's also relevant to the whole world, because we have so-called Brussels effect of privacy. So we have export of these privacy standards to whole Europe because of EU single market leverage. This is interesting phenomenon. Therefore, this how we regulate privacy in the European Union to some extent have huge influence on how the privacy is regulated all around the world. And in GDPR, we have few principles according to which data shall be gathered and then processed. So I won't be saying this Article 5, but just for the purpose of explaining how it goes, let's just say that the main principles are that the data should be processed in a way that is lawful, fair, and transparent. Then the data should be collected for specified purpose and used according to this specified purpose. And this is called purpose limitation principle. And this purpose limitation principle is what will be the major focus of my research, because this principle defines how the data is used along after it's gathered, and the purpose limitation is also which use the data which is gathered, so this is kind of overarching principle in GDPR that then have its influence on other legal norms. Therefore, I would like to, in my research, investigate if this principle is fit for protecting privacy and data in the context when the data can be used by and gathered by multiple parties, is stored in cloud solutions, and then in the context of sensor-rich activity trackers and health trackers, we have this data circulating all around. I want to see if this purpose limitation principle is fit and relevant, and if not, how it should be changed, or what other legal framework should be developed, or what other principles should we come up with. So, but further, also other relevant legal principles of data processing are data minimization principles. That means that the data which we gather shall be relevant and limited to the purpose for which the data is gathered. Also, we have accuracy principle, that data is accurate and up to date, also in the context of this purpose for which the data is gathered. And storage limitation principle, that we have to not keep it too long, only to the extent that it is needed for this purpose for which we gathered it. And also, of course, the principle of integrity and confidentiality, that the data is in general processed in a secure manner that keeps it secure and without any potential privacy breaches, like getting into the system and just stealing this data. All these burdens of compliance to this principle are at the side of the data, those who gather this data. So, as I said, I'll be investigating purpose limitation principle from two perspectives. The first perspective, which might be less interesting for you, but it's really interesting for me and my supervisor, Professor Kent, is internal perspective. So how from the perspective of the legal system itself, these principles of data gathering and processing are fit to protect our privacy and underlying values. For me, this interesting and important underlying value is personal autonomy. So this is the internal point of view, and there's also the external point of view, which I'll be needing your help with, because the external point of view is how the legal concepts are fit to respond to the challenges posed by algorithmic predictions, pattern recognitions, and this is something really interesting for me, and be looking for collaborations with you on these issues, and will be really glad for your, let's say, explanation of how these issues are working in detail. So some initial problems. My initial problem, which I foresee, is that the law restricts the processing of data, puts some principles and conditions for processing of data, and restricts the processing of sensitive data. But using machine learning, we put the input, we put an input, and actually we came up with an output, which is biometric data. And my concern is that legal system does not protect enough the outcome of this pattern recognitions and what comes up after we have this prediction made by the algorithm. So I'll be focusing on this and how to actually protect in this context biometric and health data, and maybe not data itself, but how to protect which is so valuable for us. I'm sure running short of time, so I get speed a lot. This also I will be interested in making proper legal framework for data transfers. This is really important, and I'll be also looking to investigate the technical privacy preserving solutions. Thank you very much for your attention, and looking forward for your questions. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Jan.